So the question is, if you were rebooting the MCU, what would be your first 5 Marvel movie plan?
Please do not actually reboot the MCU, but I guess as a thought experiment, how I would do it. 1. Fantastic Four, the first family. Starting off with them because they deserve a little love. They haven't got a lot in a while. And I would cast someone like these people to play them. And like Reed Richards is this like millionaire scientist, and he's built a spaceship, and they're gonna go up in space just to prove they can do it. With his best friend Ben Grimm, played by David Harper, who would be like literally perfect for the thing. And he brought along his 2 cousins, Sue and Johnny Storm, and Johnny's like an Instagram influencer, and he's doing this all for clout. And they go up into space, but oh no, cosmic rays! And then they like land somewhere in the woods and slowly develop powers. And Johnny tries to like get famous off of being able to start fires. But Reed thinks this is dangerous, and there's a lot of experimenting. And the Thing, I would love if he was just like a suit or makeup or whatever, but he probably will have to be just big CGI Thing. And there was also like a 5th person on board, but instead of being Doctor Doom, because Doom needs a lot of time to develop and he's like this big character. So instead, it's like Mole Man, and then we give him like mind control to make him scary. His powers develop like slower than everyone else, so everyone thinks he's fine, so he goes to do his own thing. Until during like a cave dive, and he falls, and he discovers the ancient race of mole people, and uses his mind control to take over them, and he uses this power to try and take revenge over the people who hated him when he was younger. And then the 4 have to come together and use their powers to stop Mole Man. And then something, Reed decides to use his science for good of the better of everyone. And found family and weirdos have to stick together. 2. The inevitable Spider-Man film. But twist, Peter Parker is an adult and a high school teacher. He's married and has a Mayday. So big twist, it's actually a Miles Morales movie. And he gets bit by a radioactive spider during a trip to the Baxter building. And he tells Peter about it, and it turns out he's also Spider-Man. And he teaches Miles about Spider-Maning with great power, yada yada. And they stop crime, which gets the attention of the Kingpin. He's mad that a lot of his crime is getting interrupted by the Spider-Man, so he gets his big guy, the Rhino, a stolen suit from the army, to try and stop them. And then maybe we can also hint towards Scorpion in the post-credits. But either way, Rhino's defeated, and great power, responsibility, yada yada. But in the end of the film, the army sees the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man and are like, we want a superhero too. Which leads into 3, the Incredible Hulk. And like the army purposely irradiates Bruce Banner. And then he escapes. And he makes it all the way up to Canada. And then plot twist, it's actually a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. And then they fight, and there's some PG-13 blood. But after they like fight each other out, and Bruce turns back to normal, he explains his situation. And Wolverine explains this was a big misunderstanding because he's actually looking for a Wendigo, and they get attacked by a Wendigo. And it turns out there's like a bunch of them, and they're led by a big king who wants to turn everyone into Wendigos. So Hulk and Wolverine have to team up and stop him. And then they do. And then at the end of the film, they're visited by Beast, who, to be different, is full like cat Beast. And he has to be played by Matt Berry, who basically just looks and acts and sounds like Beast even before we paint him blue. And then Logan like jokes, it's about time the rest of you showed up, and Bruce is like super confused. And Beast suggests they let Bruce join them.
Okay, Mr. Yagubian, do you want to be a Robin's... Where'd he go?
4. Uncanny X-Men. And then we have like our original team of X-Men. Professor Xavier, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Iceman, who's totally gay, Angel, Beast, then plus Wolverine, and then plus their new recruit, Jubilee, who's like the fish out of water, powers just developed person, who we see the film through and learn about mutants and all that from. And then they gotta stop Magneto, who's doing Magneto things with the Brotherhood, and they're trying to like overthrow a country and create a mutant-only country, but then the X-Men have to stop them. And it's all like secretive stuff until the climax, and they have to reveal themselves to stop Magneto. And then at the end, everyone knows about mutants, and they're like freaking out. And Xavier pledges to protect any mutant in need. And then we see Nick Fury sees all this on the news, and he's like, man, I need a superhero too. And then we cut to like Captain America frozen in an ice block, which leads to 5, Captain America. And the film takes place in modern time, but Captain America is having like future shock, and he remembers his origin, and he also has to deal with a villain who's related to an old villain of his, and like Baron Zemo in current times is played by Bill Skarsgård, and then his father is actually played by Bill Skarsgård's father, and then in current times Baron Zemo also has some mercenaries, Bad Jacques the Ripper and Taskmaster, and Cap has to stop them, and shenanigans ensue. Then at the end of the film, some baddies discover that Red Skull was also frozen in time. And that's how I would start off a remake of the MCU. But what do you guys think? What would your 5 choices be? You like mine? How would you do it different? And would you be interested if I did this as a series and continued?